What's up, guys? Welcome back to this episode of In the Wood Shop with Brian. So this evening, we got a little project. Country Gal has acquired quite a few laying hens, and we've started to sell laying eggs or fresh eggs on the farm here. And she needs a new feeder to be able to feed all these hens. We just so happened to see a YouTuber the other night by Gerald, name of Gerald Farms. If you hadn't got him, go check him out. I'll put a link right above. He had made one of these. He didn't really show how to build it. He just showed the feeder. But so we're going to attempt to duplicate what Gerald Farms built here tonight in the wood shop. So hope you enjoy the video, and let's get to building. We've right behind me here on the pickup truck, all this product here I've got was all here on the farm, just materials that I had left over. This was some siding from a barn. We got some 2x4s and some 2x6s. We got a little tin because this is going to be outside, so we're going to put some tin on top of it. We got our piece of PVC pipe here. So got a bucket of screws, a few hinges on a door over there. Right here we got all of our little skill saw, rigid drills. Got a rigid table saw, rigid compound miter. Both are on the stand, so we're going to get all the... So we're going to take and get all the tools set up, and then we'll get to building. Let's get them set up. Alright, first thing we're going to grab here is the little table saw. It's a fairly simple setup. In fact, I'll bring y'all in close and show you here. I really like my rigid tools. I've been using them for years. Got a little foot lever there. We're going to push that down. I got to remember here. Yep, we're going to push that lever down. I need two hands. There we go. Anyways, we're going to push that down, and then you just roll forward on the buggy. And there's your table saw all set up. This thing's pretty slick. Adjustable table, you pull that, adjust the table. It's got a push blade right here. It's also got the miter thing. It's also got a oh gosh, my mind's going blank. Oh gosh, I can't think of it, guys. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, so here we got a little folding compound miter saw. So we'll roll it over real quick. This one here is a little bit different. I'm probably going to need two hands, but we'll see what we can do. So we got to pull this lever here. And I'm going to sit y'all down right here. Let's see what we can do. Alright, sit y'all down. We're going to pull the lever there. Legs fold up. Once the legs fold up like that, you just kick the machine down into this position. And then the next thing we got a handle right here. Just gonna grab this handle, lift up, and it locks in just like so. Make sure it's locked in. Oops, which it's not. Make sure it's locked in. There we go. And that's that for the saw. Not much to it. Unfortunately, all this stuff sits in my shop out here that's not climate controlled, so it gets cobwebs and spider webs and everything else all over it. Dust from being in a barn. One of these days I'll have a shop I can put all this stuff in. That won't happen. So the nice thing about this saw is right here, which we really don't need this. You can pull these legs out and extend your base there. Alright, so what first step's going to be, we're gonna have to pull our plywood out, measure it up, and see how big we can make this feeder and how long she wants it. So I'm gonna get the plywood arranged, and I'll see y'all back in a second. All right, guys, I think we got our wood out, and we've got our decisions made with the wood that we have on what size we're gonna make this thing. So it's gonna be 5 foot long, 22 inches tall on the sides, and then the lid will be about 14 inches with the wood that we've got. So we've got our plywood here. We're gonna get our table saw all set up. I'm gonna go ahead and rip all these down to 22 inches where I need them, and then from there I'll cut them down to 5 foot, and we'll get it all put together, get our boards made for it and all that good stuff. Table saw up. Is there a pencil up there? There we go. Alright, get the table saw set up here. So I want to do a 22 right there. Blade up. Doing my tape measure now. Run this plate. Stay quick. It's just right on the money there. Alright, so I'm just going to need you on that back side. And I think I'm going to cut this like so. I think I need to slide the table saw back just a hair. Just grab that side right there. There we go. Alright, be mindful of that. Hand me that, yeah. Give me both hands. I want to trim this lip off. So I'm going to take about 3/4 of an inch. That's more. So we'll go 22. All right, flip us back on. Push the board over towards All right, now get that switch on again. All right, flip it back on. Yeah, all right, go ahead. All right, now we're going to get all of our pieces cut down to 5 foot, and then we'll get our sides made. All right, so next we're going to take and measure out our 5 foot here. Put a couple marks on here on my pencil. Actually, I'm gonna make this, since this is the lid, hang over a little bit. So I'm gonna go over 5 foot with this. I'm gonna go about 2 inches over each side, so I have a little lip. 1.5 inches over each side. Just makes it where water can't get in there. Chalk line here. Just snap a quick line. Good little tip when using a skill saw, you can take a square and use it to guide your saw. So that way everything will be lined up. Alright, so this is going to be our lid piece right here. Now we'll cut our 2 sides down. Same thing, we're going to measure 5 foot. Put us a little mark on each side and snap a chalk line on it. I do not like this little tape measure. Hold right there. Hold it tight now. Good. It actually be better if you held this end up. Yes. Alright, so now we've got our two sides cut. We're going to cut our piece of PVC pipe next. Table saw again for that. Alright, I believe this is let's see what it is. 4.5. So right on the money there, 2.5 actually. Come up with our lay a little bit. Now we got our cups for our seed tray. A little trough. We'll cut it down to 5 feet as well. I think it's that blade. Alright, so now we're here at our rigid 12-inch compound miter. We're going to cut our little PVC trough down there that we need to make. So, let's get it lined up here. Got a spare trough if we need a spare trough. All right, the next step is we got all the two big sides and the top cut. The next step, we're gonna cut some little stringers to go inside the box. We're gonna make those 12 inches each. I'm just gonna rip 3 or 4 of them here on the miter saw out of some 2x6s, and then we're gonna cut our sides for the box to put it all together. So let's get these little 12-inch boards ripped down.
How'd that make a door stop?
We got 3. I'm gonna make 1 more out there. Shame that board there was about 2 inches too short to make another one, so we'll just cut into this one here. Well, we got 4 blocks, 2 in the middle and 1 on each end to screw everything to. Oh, sorry, honey. You want to hold that end up there, yeah. Hold it, pull it to you just a little. All right, so that's our little spacer blocks there. Now we're gonna take some of our scrap pieces we got right here, and we're gonna make our 2 little end caps for the whole thing. So we're gonna make these end caps here right at 22 inches tall. Okay, I'll just rip that down on this. When it's nice and square. When you're using a table saw, you just want to put your blade just barely above the woodworking surface. We're making 14 inches wide, which is as wide as our lid. Actually, we're going to go just a little less. We're going to go 13 and a half with them, just a little less than our lid. Let's see if we got one of these that's 27 inches wide. That one's not. No. We'll use both of them. Always put my blade back down for safekeeping, so nobody gets hurt. Alright, so these are going to be our little sides here. So the next thing is going to be to try to set it all up and get it put together. Alright, so we've got all of our pieces cut, kind of right here on the floor around us or whatnot. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my two sides, and I'm just going to sit them in my trough to kind of help me hold them together. And then I'm going to get them spread apart there. And, oh, I got it. Yep. I'm going to get them spread apart. I'm going to get my 4 little spacers here. Got a couple clamps. And all I'm going to do is make sure these are even on the end. And then open that up. For now, I'm just going to put one board in here like so. And then I'm going to take my clamp. Push it in a little bit. Come on, clamp. There we go. I'm just going to clamp this together like so. So now I've got this to where I can start here on my end, put my first block in, and this is also going to be to support our lid there. Get my screws over here. We'll just put a couple screws through here to hold it together. One. I'm just going to tap that down a little bit there. Make sure we're pretty flush. I could have put a little miter on the end of these, but I didn't. I'm lazy. There we go. Got that? You got it? Mm-hmm. We'll pull it towards you.
Okay.
There we go. And I'm just going to go to the other end and I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'll make sure we got this level here. Some of these boards are a little bit twisted. I think that'll work right there. Now we'll put this one on this end here. You got that there? Mm-hmm. Hold on, just let me get this clamp. Come on. There we go. So again, I saw this feeder on Gerald Farms. So be sure, like I say, to look him up if you don't have him. He's where I where I got the idea from. I don't know if he built it like this. He didn't show us how. So you're getting the full how-to here. There we go. Alright, now we'll pull this one out and get a tape measure and space these next two evenly in the top here, like so.
I don't know if I'm helping you or hindering you.
Yeah, I don't know if you are or not. Let me get my tape measure here. There we go, foot. That'll work right there. I need you to hold it towards you some. There we go. Pull it on me. You let it go.
Okay.
There we
Looks like Noah's Ark.
go. Huh?
Looks like Noah's Ark.
Check the measurement on this one again.
Should we give a full view?
That's fine. Just a little bit crooked there. Got it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now the next step is going to be, we're going to pull it out of that. Now I cut some shorter 2x4s to go on the inside. I may have to shorten them up just a hair more to be able to close the gap as tight as I want. In fact, I think that's what I'm going to take about 2 inches off each one. off that blade now. Now, I think we'll be able to close our gap up a little tighter there. Come here and grab that one side there. Yeah, we can close it all the way like that. Okay. So now let me just get a couple screws in these and secure these. Might have to trim a screw or two maybe. You hold against it there. Okay. Okay, I got it now. Yeah, I messed up there. I got to move that down a little bit. Won't be able to bend it. There we go. Had to leave a little gap. Leave a little gap right here so I can fold it together at this end and be able to still pull it together for the gap for the feed. About the same gap there. So you see that right there. That wood's hard to start. Alright, SD card filled up when we were putting the little side pieces on right there. We got us a new SD card in the DJI action camera here. That's what kind of camera I use, guys, for most of my filming. If I'm not on the DJI, I'm using my iPhone, it's an 11, I believe, or XR, what they call it. But so I'll show you what we've got done so far. So we've got our little cross braces in on both sides. I put these little end braces right here in, and then I went ahead and I put some screws right through here just to pull the bottom together where it's even all the way across. We got a 3/4 inch gap all the way down. Now, one thing I did find out, I had to actually touch base with Gerald Farms just to ask. We had 4-inch PVC and I was trying to fit it up to it and it looked just a little small. He actually said they use 6-inch PVC. The 6-inch will give more room for their heads. So that's one thing I don't have here at the farm. All I've got is 3 or 4-inch. So we'll have to run out in the morning, pick up some 6-inch PVC and pick up where we left off. But I think we'll go ahead and mount our sides and maybe even go ahead and get the lid put on. So all we need is the piece of PVC to go in the bottom of it for the feed trough, and put a couple legs on it and we'll be good to go. So we've already cut our sides down. We'll go ahead and get those screwed on real quick and go from there. All right. I think the easiest way to do this, guys, we'll come a little closer. Alright, what I've got here, I made this the same width. It's just 14 inches wide and just a hair longer there. Our legs will actually dictate how far this thing is off the ground, the legs that we put on it. But so that's going to go just like that, and we'll secure it to the 2x4s that I put inside there, and that'll make sure everything is nice and sturdy, and we'll put a cap on each end, and then we'll work on our lid. So let's get started with some screws. Put a couple of this in here. I don't think we really have to go too overboard. I think 4 screws will be a gracious plenty to hold all this together. Alright, that's nice and firm, secure. If we wanted to, we can put some caulk on the inside of the box to seal it all up good. I'm just going to flip it over here. What I do with my other little slab there? Here it is. Right where I put it. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to center that up there. Make sure it's flush. Good there. I don't like putting that screw in that joint, so let's come back here. Fall right in that joint. All right. So now it's starting to come together. As you can see here, we've got our sides on, and you can see the little gap in the bottom there for the feed trough, for the feed to fall through. So the next step's going to be our lid here, which is gonna attach something like that. I am gonna put tin on top of this to widen it out, but just because we didn't have too much leftover wood, that's how it's gonna be right there, is our lid. And then, like I said, I got some tin in the truck we'll put on top. So I'm gonna see if I can rob a couple of hinges off this door here. We've got a couple of old hinges on the door. I think will work just fine for our application. So I got to get a Phillips head, and I'll be right back. All right, so we're gonna get our screws off. I got a Phillips here. Pop these right out. I had some heavy-duty hinges, but I think they were just a little bit bigger than what we needed for this project, so I think these small ones off the door will work fine here. All right, let's figure out how we want to mount them up. All right.
What helps you do the spacing right so they close right?
Well, years of knowledge. No, you just, the way these have got to be, I got to center it up on this panel here to hold it. in like so.
You just had
This is going to go the same way. Good. And these will mount right up like so. I got to measure and I need to get a few short screws to put in this so they don't go all the way through. Be right back again. Alright, so we got us some little tiny screws here. I think y'all can see them. So they won't go through the lid. Now we're going to raise the lid up. And we've got it measured out. It's got 1 3/4 inch overlap on each side. Need just one of them screws out of the bucket. There we go. It done moved it. Hold on, you need to come to that side where you were. Grab this lid in the middle. Yeah, about like so. Let it rest right on that. Like so, if you can. The whole thing's got to come back. Right there. So much about that side. Alright. Now we'll do a little screw.
Can't tell when it is.
Yeah, you need to hold it right there. See if it closes. The hinges. Maybe that little hammer behind you. I think it's this hinge right here. That's it right there. All right, tap it in. Can we see it? One lid. Cool. Alright guys, so got the sides on, got the lid on. We'll put us a latch, probably put a little chain. I've got a little chain so she can just open it up. In fact, we'll get that right now and we'll put the chain and then probably go ahead and mount the bottom legs to it. Alright, so guys, just a little piece of chain right here. Same thing, we'll use that same little screw to attach it to the lid. Just like so. to where you want it to stop at. Like it's right there, good. Pinch that closed just a little bit.
Gotta have enough to lean back.
There we go.
Perfect.
Voila. Now she's got a little chain. Hold the lid open. When she wants to close it, it'll just fall right back in like so. Now we'll put some little feet on it. I'll have to cut them. I'm gonna measure, figure out what length I want them, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. Well, so we got pretty much everything we could done tonight. We've got to still put tin on the top of it, and I got to put my piece of PVC in. We're gonna have to go tomorrow and get that. We'll probably get a couple of latches and a little handle to put on it to make it easier for when she's got to fill it up. But so far, here's the final product that we've got. This is the back side. Put some little pressure treated legs on the bottom to keep the plywood off the ground. Got our lid. Might add 2 more hinges to it. Might pick those up as well, just to put 4 hinges on that long lid. But otherwise, like I say, we'll get a little latch to be able to hold it down there. And we got to get our piece of PVC to put along the bottom, and she's all done. So we'll see you in the morning when we get our pipe. All right, guys. Well, it's the next day. We just so happen to have a good friend that's a plumber. I called him, and he brought us out this morning a brand new piece of 6-inch PVC. So that way we can cut that in half and get our feed trough finished up. I also went out to the scrap pile where I got a bunch of tin. Found this piece of tin here. I'm going to cut it down, mount it to the top so it'll have a nice surface area to keep the rain off of it and out of it. There's our piece of pipe back there on the table saw. Got to get that ripped in half yet. And we'll get those 2 things installed and we'll be finished up. We'll go take it to the chicken coop and fill it up with some feed and see if the chickens like it. Yeah, I got me a little line drawn out on the in here. We'll see if we can cut something half straight. Nibble that out here. There we go. Turn it this way. Losing it. Doesn't hurt anybody. Nobody gets a poke there. All right. I thought about actually putting like a board underneath it and make it where it did like that, but I don't know. Just have to see. A little warp right here. Should end up with about, once I screw it down, about 5 inches of overhang on each side. Take this. Alright, we got it all centered up here. I got me just some regular old, I've had these. Just some roofing sheet metal screws with the rubber gasket here. Don't need too many. Just a few to hold it down here. I love these rigid impacts. I've got about 3 of these things. They do a great job. I would love to have a bigger impact, like a 1/2 inch in one of their grinders. Maybe one of these years they'll come out with a grease gun, so I don't have to buy a different brand tool just to have a grease gun. That would kind of stink. I do have my air-powered lock and lube. That's been a good gun. I got a video on that grease gun. I'll try to put a link in the card up above, or put a card up above for that lock and lube video. Tip stripped out. Tip had stripped out. I had to get another nut driver and put in there. They're the same size, but I hope I haven't screwed this thing shut. Probably have. Yeah, I probably screwed it shut. Yep. And I probably did it, yep, right on every board. Well, all we got to do is just back these out. No biggie. Uh-oh. Let's see, will it open now? Yeah. Let's see if we can get that. Alright, now let me get a thing and we'll cut all those little bolts off right there so they don't harm anybody. Alright, got me a little air grinder here. I'm just going to zip these off. Like so. There we go. Lid opens fine, even with the extra metal on it. Closes fine. Need to kind of roll that down just a little bit. I think that'll work good. Now we just got to cut our PVC pipe, get that installed, and we should have a chicken feeder. Alright, the next step's going to be to cut it to length here. This 5 foot's what we want. Let's make a measurement real quick just to make sure. Yep, 5 foot. you slide too much one way or the other. Alright, there's our feed trough. And then if we decided to make another one, we got an extra one right there. So, give me just a second, we'll get it set up where we can get this installed. Alright, so we got our pipe all ripped down, y'all saw that. I went ahead and screwed it to the base of the thing. I just used some wood screws and actually screwed through the side into the pipe. You can actually see I had one come out just a little bit there, but ain't gonna make a big difference. So the pipe's all installed, tin. It's ready to carry over. Put in the chicken coop. Got a handle, lid. I think that'll all work real well. Looks nice. So we'll get it over to the chicken coop, put some feed in it, and see if the chickens like it.
They use them pans like that.
Alright guys, well we're out here this morning. Just got out here with the chickens, let them out of their coop there. And we're going to bring the feeder in, get it set up, and I'm going to show you filling it up, and we'll see if the chickens like it. So currently, they've just got the old 5-gallon or 4-gallon type metal feeders. We got 2 of those. And the problem is when it rains, or just in general, we got so many laying birds that they just don't have enough room even with 2 of those feeders. And so in theory, they should have 10 foot of feeding space with this feeder. They got 5 foot on each side, so should hold a lot more feed, keep us from filling up so many times. And then the next step's going to be to build some type of a watering system. Hadn't come up with that yet. I'm thinking something like 6-inch PVC and a 30 or 50-gallon drum with a lid hooked together, but we'll just have to see how that goes. But let's get the feeder put in the coop and get it filled up.
Alright, I would say maybe it's right here.
Flat.
Move this out of the way.
So these are both going to get moved. Yeah.
The only thing I think right here is this one.
Leave that open. Back in. You're going to grab it all back in. I'll get this in. We're going to grab it from there. I can push it up.
No, you could always put a handle on each side.
Yeah, I'd like it to kind of be in the ditch. Make sure you can get there.
Why would you do it? Well, it dips even more if you put it that way.
As long as you can get around it, we're good with it. Alright, let's see if it works. Grab y'all down. We got it all set up here. Let's get it filled up. We got 2 bags of feed to pour in. It'll hold 3 bags easily. Looks like it works. Uh-oh. Well, I got a little moisture in it. Alright, chicken. We got chickens. There we go. Alright, so the feed, as you can see, just comes right out in the bottom right here. They can get right in, pick it up on both sides. I think this turned out good. I'm glad to, like I say, follow Gerald Farms and have found out about how to make this feeder, or at least get the idea from him. So appreciate y'all watching, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, so we got their feeder all set up in the pen. Seems like they're learning how to eat out of it. This side here we got full of chickens eating out of it. So yeah, I think it's going to work out pretty good. Should keep the rain out of it and keep the chickens happy.